From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
We worked so hard on this house. We put everything we had into this house.
I've never seen the likes of it in my life. I'm almost 80 years old.
There's a lot of people over here that are suffering.
Harrowing images of flipped home, smashed windows, and winds wreaking havoc inside the homes of others. How many are still picking up the pieces after strong storms?
It creates comfort for patients and families.
A once-in-a-generation project. What's in store for Intermountain Health's newest hospital?
I'm Jonathan Amberian in Helena. 20 years after Montana passed the Clean Indoor Air Act, that act has been expanded to not only include smoking, but vaping as well. I'll have a closer look at the changes.
Good morning. Those stories and much more coming up in the next hour. Welcome back to Montana This Morning on this Wednesday, June 18th. I'm Hailey Monaco here with Miller Robson. Good morning, Miller.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Prudy just walked in the studio.
So
you know it's going to be a good morning.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for that word, Prudy, by the way. We're going to talk about that coming up in the trivia.
Wait.
That was so much fun yesterday. Can't wait. Yesterday turned out to be a really nice day. Very beautiful. Seasonal. Let's take a look. Our highs and lows exactly where we should be for this time of the season. It was a dry day yesterday for us here in Billings, but we're still ahead for the month or for the year in terms of moisture. We're behind for the month. We're going to have a chance to make a bit of a dent maybe over the next couple of days. As we get into Thursday, we see this unsettled weather pattern coming in all the way through Sunday, maybe the early part of next week, and maybe not a whole lot of rainfall, but maybe we have some more heading our way that could be somewhat beneficial. We are still seeing some thunderstorms up there toward the northwest or northeast corner of the state, rather. Glendive, just to the north of you, we are seeing some thunder boomers right now. Most of us not seeing anything, and that will be the case as we go along today through at least early Thursday. Temperatures this morning, we've got mainly 50s, some 40s, and even some 60s out there. Just a beautiful start here in Billings, though. 55 right now at the airport, pretty seasonal out there. Dew point temperatures at 48 degrees, humidity at 77%, winds out of the southwest at about 13 miles an hour. A lot of sunshine today. Don't forget the sunscreen if you're heading outside. Into the low 80s by lunchtime, mid to upper 80s by the time we hit the drive at 5. A good 10 degrees above the norm, and we're only getting hotter, at least tomorrow. It's going to be our warmest day, and then we see some changes heading into the weekend. We'll take a look at that coming up.
Wonderful. Can't wait. Thank you, Miller.
Yeah.
And Shepherd spent Tuesday in cleanup mode after a severe storm rocked the community. The damage is hard to miss. Shattered windows, shredded siding, and roofs stripped bare. But for one family with 2 young children, the storm didn't just rattle their home, it turned their world completely upside down. Our Charlie Kleps has the story of survival behind the wreckage.
In a matter of moments,
God, it happened so quick.
dark clouds covered the sky.
I didn't really know what was going to happen.
And as uncertainty filled Jordan Dalton's head, dangerously strong winds picked up speed.
I was just more scared, my daughter was with me, and last thing I want to happen is anything to my little girl.
It was at that moment that Dalton knew she needed to flee.
The wind started coming up pretty bad, so we rushed down to my grandma's house.
It was there that she took this video. What she didn't know is that it would be the last time she saw her house standing upright.
Not even 2 minutes later, the whole house just completely went.
This is the aftermath of that storm, where this home was ripped off of its foundation here and rolled 20 feet down the property. A devastating scene that feels impossible for Jordan and her husband Joe to stomach.
Put my heart and soul into this house. Every penny I had for the last 3 years.
Their home, which was nearing completion after more than 2 years of construction, now flipped upside down, crushing one of their vehicles and destroying nearly all of their belongings inside.
We went so much into debt just to get this house livable, and now it's just all gone.
On Tuesday, the Daltons were left salvaging what they could.
Move that!
Searching through the scraps of what they hoped would be their forever home.
It's like opening a fresh wound. Every time you see something that you cherished completely demolished, it's just ripping off the scab all over again.
A nightmare reality for this family and many others.
Everybody lost stuff and everybody's homes got damaged.
Now hoping for help on their emotional and uncertain road to recovery.
It's hard to ask people for help in a situation like this because everybody's going through something.
In Shepherd, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Charlie, thank you. There is simply not enough time to show you all the damage the Shepherd community is dealing with. Homeowners suffered damage, and so did a lot of farmers and ranchers. Not only were crops and fields completely destroyed, some had expensive machinery damaged. Check out these images from the Stahl family, which saw their shop collapse on top of all their haying equipment. Many livestock were also pummeled by hailstones. No words on whether any were seriously injured. Nearly every property in the area took a hit. Winds were relentless. Windows exploded from both homes and cars. MTN's Hannah Pettiferi shows us just how terrifying this storm was to witness firsthand.
There was no need to watch television Monday night for Jesse Parman. Instead, a reality show was unfolding right in front of him. Not on a screen.
It had blown the windows out.
But right behind his couch.
I was having golf balls and ping pong balls bouncing off the couch, and it shredded all the Venetian blinds.
Monday's storm shattered glass as giant hailstones pummeled through windows like baseballs.
I mean, there was standing water in the whole house, and ice.
And outside, even more destruction.
All these trees, these were beautiful trees, but the bark's gone. Not just the leaves. They're denuded. My neighbor called and said, "Where do we start?" And I go, "I don't know where to start."
Jesse is not the only one dealing with this tragedy. Right down the road from me, the Supers are also facing the devastation.
I've never seen the likes of it in my life. I'm almost 80 years old.
Chuck and Luann Super are also busy cleaning up shattered glass, as 4 of their windows were shattered by the storm.
It was almost like a vacuum had broke, Kind of like, when you pop a cork on a champagne bottle or something. Just boom.
I don't even know how to describe what it sounded like. It was just loud and scary.
Living in Shepherd for more than 4 decades, this was the worst they've ever experienced.
This one takes cake.
And not just them.
I've lived in Montana my whole life, and I've never seen anything like this.
But also the Ferguson family, all but destroyed by the relentless hail.
Their window down there is completely shattered out. They had a big drift of hail inside their living room. Their floor's all flooded. All their skylights are broke out.
Shepherd is a community now cleaning up.
There's a lot of people over here that are suffering.
From this costly and unforgettable storm, the likes of which they never hoped to experience again.
Everybody out here pretty much went through the same thing, some worse, I'm sure, and some better.
In Shepherd, Hannah Pettiferi, MTN News.
Hannah, thank you. That fierce storm also shut down the Pryor Creek golf course. The driving range saw substantial damage, forcing the club to close Tuesday morning. However, the good news is that crews worked hard to clear this damage throughout the day yesterday. Staff announced that both golf courses and the driving range will be fully operational today. In a Facebook update, staff say that while they are thrilled to reopen, safety remains a top priority, and some areas of the course are still heavily affected by this week's storm. There will be caution tape or rope installed in some areas, and the entire back fence is still down. So no clubs that can carry over 225 yards may be used on the range for now. A suspect is now in custody after fleeing from law enforcement in Stillwater County. Columbus police said on social media the incident began shortly after 1 Tuesday morning when officers tried to make a traffic stop on a black Cadillac. They say that driver then took off at a high rate of speed with officers in pursuit. The vehicle then crashed in a field between Big Lake and Grass Lake Refuge, but the suspect was able to run away. Later that morning, law enforcement caught up with the suspect. No other details into the crime were released. Continued concern for safety at the national level this morning from state legislatures around the country, including here in Montana, to the nation's capital. Lawmakers are calling for increased security after what police describe as an assassination in Minnesota. Jared Hill has the story.
At the steps of the Minnesota State House, a picture of former House Speaker Melissa Hortman.
We lost somebody who actually cared about Minnesotans.
The growing memorial as the man suspected of killing her and her husband in a politically motivated assassination over the weekend was taken into custody and appeared in court earlier in the week.
The police got their man, but we didn't get my sister back. My mom didn't get her baby back.
The loss devastating for Hortman's family. Authorities say 57-year-old Vance Belter also shot State Senator John Hoffman and his wife, and inside the suspect's SUV, they found a notebook with a list of names that included other lawmakers. 1,200 miles away on Capitol Hill, members of both parties are now pressing for more funding to keep them safe at home.
A lot of members and everyday Americans are scared about the increasing scourge of political violence in this country.
The shooting's also raising concern about rhetoric. Lawmakers across the aisle have called out Republican Senator Mike Lee of Utah for a now deleted post on X that said, "This is what happens when Marxists don't get their way." His Democratic colleague from Minnesota, Tina Smith, confronted Lee at the Capitol on Monday.
I found him yesterday and I told him exactly what pain he had caused by this.
For Hortman's mother,
we can't let hatred and division rule the actions that are happening now.
A call for unity, though too late for her daughter. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Vance Belter is due back in court on June 27th. In international news, images of ash and dust as homes and roads across Indonesia could be seen coated with debris after a major volcano eruption. Take a look. Indonesia Mount Luwatobi Lakai volcano erupted last night, engulfing villages in red smoke. Town officials there are raising the alarm, saying potential lava flows could impact communities if it rains. The towering column of smoke rose more than 6 miles into the sky.